All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Another day. Wednesday, February 14th. We're going to get started just in a few minutes here. Good morning, Mr. Steve. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good rebound by the market. So far, so good. Gonna get started here just in a minute. All right. We're going to get started here. All right. Welcome. Overnight action, pretty constructive here, up about 40 basis points after a pretty big sell-off yesterday down to the 20-day moving average. And that 49.3250 level, kick save end of the day closed around 49.70. So, why did it bounce there? Well, previous week low was right around this area. And so that caught a bid and a nice little reversal. We are currently trading right under this 9-day moving average. This 9-day moving average is around 49.9278, so 49.93 on ES. Okay, so we've been, almost kind of hanging out under this one, aside from just a bit where we pushed higher into that 5,000. We're gonna look at ES here on a regular chart. You can see that the high of the overnight session right over here, the high was 5,075. Right, so we tested at 5,000 and then backed off. Now, it's a fairly new chart that I've started to introduce to everybody because it's important. And what I usually look for, and this is a TPO chart, okay? And you can look online, you can get some real nice explanations what the hell these letters are, what these colors are, what's important, what's not. But for me, what I look for is the previous week. So this is a composite of all the action from, the different weeks. We are currently in this week here. We have a developing weekly TPO. This is a previous one, which is now solidified. It's what it is, right? And the week before that is this one over here. But we're going to ignore that one. We're going to focus on this one, the previous week. Now, yesterday, we came down to this value area low from last week and caught a nice little bounce. And then once we broke it end of the day, we fell through into this 49.32. Caught a bounce there, back above this value area low. And right now we're trading back near this 5,000. So the way I'm using these charts in particular is I'm looking at the value area low, the POC, and the value area high. And I'm letting that kind of dictate a little bit what to look for and what to expect, in addition to these yellow lines that I have here. All right, so these TPO, value area low, POC, and value area high work similar to the volume profile with the same name, but you might have some discrepancies. So if you look over here, the POC from the TPO is equal to the volume profile right here in red. The previous week before that, there's a little bit of a discrepancy, but they're usually fairly close to each other. All right, so when I mention value area high, value area low on a weekly basis for ES, I'm talking about the TPO one, not the volume profile. I just find it a lot more accurate. Okay, so that's that. Now, for today, I would love if ES moved above 5,000, testing that 5,020 and move above, right? Anything above 5020. And I think whatever happened yesterday was just a reaction, unloading of positions after a great run, and then followed by a dip buy and possibly push back to all-time highs. All right, that's the idea. Now, if we top out around 5,000, let's say 5,007, 5,020, and we can't catch a bid and we reverse lower, that should be seen as a lower high on the daily, all right, which is negative. So for today, we'll watch those things. If we do get a dip today, I'm looking for a higher low, right? So the low was around this 49.32 area. And so I would expect a higher low today, and I'm looking for that to be 49.66 and 49.50. So we'll watch that as well. If we cannot break 49.80 in the first hour or so, I'm expecting us to push higher. Okay. QQQ is doing a pretty good job today, moving higher, above 430. Okay, so looking at the daily here now, QQQ, you can see how we do have a gap that we could trade around, similar to SPX for that matter, right? So we'll watch this yesterday's highs as a trigger. As long as 430 is holding, I think there's a pretty good shot at filling this gap, right? If we start filling this gap, I would expect 432.66 and then 435 to fill this gap, right? There is relative strength in IWM, up 1.24% here, and there's quite a gap above as well. So I'll watch previous day high for continuation. All right, excuse me. Please note this trend line and where we stopped yesterday, right around that area. So I'm seeing this as a breakout, back test, and now possibly push higher. So let's see if IWM could lead us higher. The one thing I would say is that tomorrow, or rather on Friday, we do have PPI. So depending on what that happens, if it confirms what happened, what CPI came out with, which was a hot number, then we perhaps could get a bigger sell-off, right? But if PPI comes favorable for the bulls, it's a cooler number, then I would imagine us, moving back up to the highs, right? And there's also the opportunity of, us just hanging out, kind of digesting whatever has happened in the last few weeks. Okay, so that's what I'm going to look for. As far as individual names, I'm watching NVIDIA above yesterday's highs at 735. There are some stars aligning on NVIDIA 735. One would be this resistance level that I have, 734. Yesterday's highs was around 734.50. The value area high from the day before that, so 2 days ago, is 735.33. So you have three different things to look for here. And if we do break above, I'm expecting us to move to 750. Okay. The second would be SMCI. What I'm liking about SMCI is that, it's already kind of showing us some strength here, up 3%. All right. If we do backtest this 810 and hold, we could move back up to 850. I'm expecting us to move towards 1,000 if NVIDIA keeps doing what it's doing, SMCI keeps doing what it's doing. But I have yet to see any weakness in SMCI or NVIDIA. Dips are getting bought. They're relatively strong on weekdays or weaker days. And so far, there's still momentum in semiconductors and these two names specifically. AMD, I thought, did a pretty good job yesterday. Beautiful kind of, not a proper hammer, but a very nice green candle. And next time we move above 175, I'll be interested to see if we could push higher. Okay. Now, VRT is not a name that we've traded very often, but look at this candle yesterday, back to the highs. This is also a electronics technology, production equipment. I think this is directly related to semiconductors as well. But look at this chart, right? Broke the 9, bounced off the 20, back above, and now pushing these highs. So watch VRT. I have an alert here, or a couple, watching for that break above previous day high, 64 into the 65 area, and then we'll see. I think D-Dog yesterday did a pretty good job after that sell-off. Okay, this also has an upgrade today, or multiple kind of positive headlines. And so the next time we break this 138, I'm expecting us to move to 143 at the least. All right, we do have a snow earnings report coming up, which will affect D-Dog. But this one is not until the 28th of this month, so end of this month. Let's see if snow could catch a little bit of a bid and push higher. All right. Cyber crowd showing some relative strength. I'm really liking this one. All right, let's see if we can get a day 2 here, push higher. Okay. Out of the two other names, I like PNW. ZS not looking as good, but PNW is looking pretty good, I would say. CLH, because it's mentioned in the chat room, looking very, very good. Kind of doing what I wanted it to do. Bounce back above the 200 and pushing higher now. If you can break this area over here, this one is back to the highs. So very, very nice chart here, CLH. We do have a few earnings reports worth mentioning in the after hours or after market closes. The first one would be TWO. All right. The second one would be Oxy. Third would be App. And the fourth that I'm kind of interested in would be FSLY. FSLY is looking okay. So, we'll see what the reaction is tomorrow, but just worth mentioning those things. As far as events, there's not a whole lot going on today that I'm interested in. I think there's maybe a Fed speaker or something, but, nothing super, super important. Friday is what it's all about. Tomorrow we have a few different things as well. Well worth kind of keeping in mind. There's something a little bit later, Jay. Let's see. Fed Vice Chair Michael Barr at 4 p.m., but that's after market closes. All right. As far as other names, I kind of cycled through, I submitted the video earlier on for everybody to watch. There's not a whole lot. I mean, Meta needs higher, needs about 472 at least. Netflix, we do have Roku coming up with its earnings report, and that could be maybe a help for this one. We're still just digesting this big move after earnings. So chart is looking good, something to keep an eye on. Okay, so Netflix looking fine here. Google, there's still a gap above. So we have a small little gap here, and then we have a gap over here. So we'll watch that. Apple, there's not a whole lot there for me. And then Microsoft, looking pretty okay still. Nothing I'm interested in trading here, but this 415 is now key low. We'll watch it for a push above. We can see 421, whatever these highs are, fairly quickly. Okay. What else? I'm just gonna take a brief look at XLF. MA is looking pretty strong. I'm liking MA actually. This is a beautiful chart. Um, Disney, beautiful chart. I'm watching this one here. Above 111 today. Could be a nice trade. Maybe 112 calls. So Disney's looking good. Not a name that I trade very often, but look at this beautiful consolidation. And started pushing higher. We'll see if it can get out of this, what looks like a pennant here. Okay, so Disney's looking good. Visa looking okay. But look at MA. MA is looking great. MA is looking fantastic. Just bounce, 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 and then push. Wash out 462 into 464, and then push. MA is looking good. I like it. IBM. IBM is looking fine. We'll see. We caught some was it April calls? March calls. And so we have some time on those. I'm expecting this one to break higher if the market reverses up. Yeah, MA, if you like MA, I mean, I think this one, watch 470 calls maybe, 465, depending on the premium. We just have to watch it. Forwards. Yeah, so I mean, BTC, as we said, is looking very good. Okay. Bitcoin is looking good. Now you have coin, broke 150, 150 holds on a back test. Could be a good one. MSDR is up a lot, right? Breaking new highs. You have Mara moving higher as well. So if you like Bitcoin and all that, you can look at those. SMCI. Okay. Um, SBX, if you do break above 5,000, could be scalped. 5,000 breaks, and I think we could maybe look at some 5,000, 25 calls or 20 calls, depending on the time of the day. I like the idea of IWM, maybe February 16th, so a couple of days out. 200 calls once we get back into this gap here. Maybe trade some 200 calls. Um, so, it might be a trigger day. Okay, first off, it might be a trigger day. Although we've had a pretty nice bounce here, I would love for us to recover 5,000. If we do for some reason test this 49.66, that could be another good area to maybe look for longs, but we'll see, similar to yesterday. Let's see where we open. We'll probably open right around here. Need to break above this 9-day and hold. We also could just spend a few days here, right? If this is the pole here, Imagine this being a bear flag, right? Something like that. We could get something that looks like this, right? But so far they've been buying the dips, so as long as we're getting those signals, I think it's worth being a little cautious shorting. But ES 5000, watch ES 5000. If you cannot get above 5,000, it's also a sign, right? I can see a bear flag here that eventually breaks lower. But let's just see. Let's let the price action dictate here. SMCI is looking pretty strong. Please understand that everything I say here is for education and informational purposes only. Nvidia, all right, we're holding those 760s. Let's see if we can push higher. Netflix is looking okay. Netflix is pushing up really nicely here. About 565, we can get some momentum. Let's see. I'm gonna put SMCI here. Yeah, SMCI is gone, man. God dang it. No, heck no. All right, we are gonna turn off the YouTube stream. Thanks everybody for joining us.